All right, so now let's try to recruit and onboard a new nurse for our wound care campaign. Since we're going to grow into the North Houston area, I need to find some qualified nurses. So the first thing I'm going to do is go back to my company settings, and under payroll, I want to make sure that I have a nurse job set up. So in this case, I do. I have a high-tech RN. I could put in her full job description, pay rates. She's in the nursing department. I want to put her in the current job openings list. Then I'm going to go to my recruiting platform. And the first thing I can do is take my job board. And so you'll notice that we have an RN in our open job listings. We have a registered nurse in our open job listings job board. You can actually just click on this embed option and take this code here and copy and paste that onto your website to have this job board automatically integrated into your website, so that people can go ahead and apply for a job right there through the system. Okay, so that's one way. But let's say we want to go a little bit more advanced and actually run maybe an Indeed campaign. So we're going to post our job onto Indeed, and we want to track all of the applicants that come in through Indeed. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new campaign. We'll call this our Indeed job ad for RN number 1. Those new applicants are going to be assigned to our North Houston location. We are recruiting for employees, and we're going to expect that anyone who applies is going to be part of our registered nurse job title. I can go ahead and create a new email address just for this particular job campaign, or I can assign them to a campaign or to an email address that already exists. So I'm going to assign this one to Stacy. When I go to Indeed and post my job ad later on, I'm going to put the Stacy Nava's email address in that resume bucket, the email bucket on Indeed, so that the system will automatically receive those emails and automatically parse the resume and assign them as a lead. I want these assigned to my recruiter. We're going to assign them to Adam. And we're also going to make this its own. We could just say that we want it to be an email campaign, and we're kind of done. Or we could set it to be a landing page and create an actual form with an associated landing page. So I could say, let's do the fancy template. Looking for great RNs. Care experience required. Are you a great RN? We could put in our job information there. And in this case, we could say I want them to complete a full job application, or maybe I want to be really simple and just say, okay, we want their first name, their last name, their email address, and their resume. After they finish the form, we're just going to tell them, thank you for applying. And we're going to automatically schedule an interview to be done. And we're going to have Adam do that. We want to set that interview up for 2 days from now. Save that just to see what that looks like. If you ran a job ad on Indeed and they clicked on the link, it would take them to this page here. If they fill out this particular form, the system will automatically create a lead in your lead system for them. Or if they just click the apply button within Indeed and send in their resume via email, same thing. The system is going to parse that resume and automatically create a lead. So let's look at what a lead looks like. or an applicant lead. So let's look at Leon here, who's already in the system. I can get a map of where Leon lives and all of my open shifts and patients that are nearby, along with the associated skills that are required. So in this case, the patient requires that the employee have ventilator training, and they prefer someone who's Spanish speaking. This employee doesn't actually meet those requirements, so we get that as a notice, and we're not allowed to assign them to that shift. But we do have a very quick staffing module available, so you can recruit the best employees. I can also schedule an event, send a message, or reassign that particular applicant to me. I can click on the link to get more information about them, to work through our recruiting process. I can see their full resume. I can update their information, put in their website, their LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter handles, and have direct links to those. So I can look at their social media profiles. I can put in their contacts, all of their lead status. I can attach events or files or notes to this particular lead. Whenever we say that they're a qualified lead, then all we have to do is click Convert to Applicant. And the system's going to force me to have a phone number for them. Oh, looks like he's already in the system. But at that point, I can just convert to it. I can convert them to an applicant and move on. I'll figure out what that error is about later. That would convert them into an applicant, and just like we saw on the patient screen, once they become an applicant, we have a lot of really cool options available for you to, for your recruiting team to be able to work through the onboarding process. So in this case, Test Sample, who has applied to be a physical therapist, I have their phone number. I don't have any events scheduled for this employee, but I know that they have tracheostomy training. I know Stacy's the one who's working this recruiting platform. I also know they haven't begun filling out any of their documentation. So they, in this case, they have one form out of 38 that they filled out. It's been rejected and turned back to them. So they still have quite a bit of paperwork to complete. Back at our employee here, I can go in and see all of their information. Again, the map that we were talking about earlier with the staffing information at our fingertips. I can look at their schedule, so I can schedule interviews and phone calls and evaluations and orientation.